remember during that time, Suge had diamonds in his ear that just didn't make any damn sense.
Exactly.
He had like 3 or 4 carat diamonds in his ear. That was just insane.
He had to be like that. Even with the women, he had to be seen. I couldn't be sitting there talking to a fine ass woman without Suge coming over there. I'm the one with the money. I'm the boss. Woo, woo, woo. Man, get the fuck.
Well, I mean, just the fact that Suge would have a baby with Michelle A., who also had a baby with Dre,
he out of line.
Is just insane. Like, I'm looking like in terms of me, I have never in life had any relations with a girl that used to date one of my friends. Right. I just felt it was stupid.
There's a lot of them out there like that though, that wouldn't give a fuck, take your leftovers and marry them, like Suge did.
I'm just saying though, like, but not only is this a girl of someone you're associated with, this is the superstar on your label. Yeah. This is the person who's making all this happen. But I guess from what I heard from Suge's point of view was that Dre leaving, he kind of wasn't tripping because Tupac was already there. He felt like Tupac was gonna, fill in whatever void Dre had, but which may have happened if Pac had lived, but you can't deny the musical genius that's Dr. Dre.
Period.
You can't deny it. Just look at the track record.
Right.
And ultimately, when Pac died, that was it for Death Row.
So you got to understand, Suge didn't care about none of that. Suge had to be seen. He had to be the man. And, if Suge would have just kept his shit straight business and transformed us from, the gang attire to wearing, the button downs and the linen suits and shit, the homies would have been cool with that. We had to be aggressive. Everywhere and everything we did, we had to be aggressive. Now, what happened was, all the shit he was doing, now he working the homie over here, talking to the homie over here. And he telling him, oh, that nigga called and said you was a bitch. Oh, that nigga said you didn't do this and you went in the hood long. Why the fuck is you doing that type of shit? So he started working us against each other. Yeah. For us to fall apart. And then this was his way of trying to get rid of this persona, the gang shit. So if we start fighting and killing each other, but what he failed to realize, everything was coming back to him. So when the homies started coming to him, they did exactly what I did, accepted the fucking check, opposed to getting at Suge and dealing with him like I said we should do. So everybody accepted the check. So he's free to do whatever. Like when he brung Reggie and them to the scene, that was only because he thought if the police there, the homies been in prison, all this, they're gonna be like, oh shit, nigga got the police here. I'm pissed off. Why the fuck is they here? This don't mix.
Like for example, we had Nicholas Irving on our show recently. Nicholas Irving was, his nickname was the Reaper. He was an Army sniper that had killed 33 people in the line of duty. So he's serious. And we asked him about what he felt about homeboy security. Because we talked about the whole Takeoff situation, right? Because in my eyes, which he agreed, Takeoff died because he had homeboy security. He had, Quavo had his guy there. He had dreadlocks, pulled out a gun when the argument started to kind of ensue over the dice game,
right?
Which I'm sure escalated everything. Next thing you know, a shootout happens and Takeoff was not even involved in the argument, ends up dead.
Right.
I think I can get the mentality of, this is my guy. I've known him my whole life. He's always had my back. He would never let nothing happen to me. But that could also be a hindrance. That could also be a huge liability because he's willing to do that, or because he's able to do that or capable of doing that. That also can lead to when now you're put into a position that you may not want to be in, or because he's not trained and he's not as good as you think he is, just because he could pull a trigger on a Glock 23 every once in a while in the backyard doesn't mean anything. It's The last thing any security ever wants to do, a bodyguard, is to pull their weapon, put their hands on someone. Most of the time, 99.9% of the time, your job is to de-escalate, de-escalate, de-escalate. Never to even be in a position to where that can even happen. And if it does happen, you know, there's ways of making sure that that problem gets taken care of quickly, immediately, and no harm to anyone else is, you know, is done. Probably wouldn't have not done the dice game to begin with. I don't know, I'm a different type of security. I get everybody wants to have fun, but what is 30 minutes of pleasure for eternity of, dead, you know? I'd rather just have my client mad at me because I'm like, dude, we're getting out of here. I'd rather you be mad at me for that than having to wake up the next day or make a call right after you get shot in wherever and telling the cops, hey, just got an incident that happened, and the person who employed me, I no longer have a job because, that happened. When I knew that all I had to do was just avoid that whole situation. Hey, let's just back out of this for a little bit. A real security guard person knows how to read people, read in an environment, you're looking at your client, but most of the time we're looking at everyone else. We're looking at your intention. What is in your eyes? What's in your, what body language do you put off? And hot situations, there's just no point of hanging around it. Nothing wrong with, you're not walking away as a client, it's me. You're still a tough guy. I'm the one who ran you out of there, not you. So I don't know. I'd rather have it looked at it like that as opposed to, picking up someone's brains.
And I think that this is the perfect example of, you should just, if you want security, there's so many options for professional security, from Navy SEALs to whatever the fuck else. And you have the money. I remember 50 Cent used to roll around with Navy SEALs a lot.
Suge wouldn't have never got what he wanted out of certain people with that type of security.
Right, because they're not going to intimidate anybody.
No.
That's not my job.
They minding their business as long as you don't touch Suge Knight.
Yeah.
Suge Knight had,
I see what you're saying,
people working for him that was ready to fight, that was ready to do certain things. Some cats was getting a bonus if they knocked out a motherfucker that night. You know what I'm saying? So, Suge was feeding his pups. They was getting they little shit just for being who they were. And the homies was comfortable with living that life and getting paid for it.